Well, I started tracing in LA because that's where I live. So I was tracing on the streets of downtown and then Hollywood, and then I traced in Wall Street, Las Vegas, all different areas. Then I traced at the LA River for many years because it's close to home. And then 2 years ago, I think, I traced at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And they helped me negotiate access for that. And then I traced here. Buffalo has very few street stains, so I thought, oh, well, I can always have the fallback of, street stains, but it rains and snows and whatever. There's so much precipitation here that the streets are really clean. And it doesn't seem that it's not a pedestrian issue because you've got lots of pedestrians. Pedestrians usually make lots of stains. Like Las Vegas and Los Angeles, they really stick because it's dry. In New York, I think there's just so many people that there's lots of stain action. And it worked out fine though because we found other things to trace. Because of having just given birth to Willa and not being able to do the site visit as soon as possible and the limitations when I came, that I couldn't just wander around on my own, it really made it possible that you went into all these places and we got into places that I could say, oh no, that's not what I want, I was driving, I saw Molly's head turn, I turned, and there was a big blue wading pool, and I was very curious. So we turned around, went back and looked through the fence. We got out of the car, looked through the fence. We went over to the wading pool, and there were these crazy curlicue marks that I had never seen before. They were in reverse. So usually if there's like coffee on the ground, it would be, or a stain from coffee, it would be a darker stain on the light concrete. The pool was blue, and what was making the mark had etched it away in these curlicue patterns. And that was very intriguing. And we ended up going there the next day to do the we called them auditions, although just about everybody ended up working with us. That day it was, I think, 14 people. That was a lot of people to organize on this very, very intricate drawing. So I put them all on 2 rolls that were lined up together, and I thought that it would be a more condensed drawing, but it ended up like a game of Twister. We visited the River Wright, and they had numbers on the machinery for the hops. I guess when I was in LA, afterwards, I thought I could use those. They were on these machineries, which are not on the floor, which is not what I do. And I thought, well, if I do middle steel, maybe I can do the machinery. And I should say there's a conceptual basis for why I only do the floor, or the ground, which is that I think of the world as one sort of like a skin, like as if the flat of the ground was a piece of paper, and then each bit of things that I trace on it are fragments. There were technical issues, which is that when you trace on the ground, you have gravity, and the scale that I work at is so large that you need gravity to line all these things up and stuff. But I was interested in the numbers, and again, having another place with numbers, so I decided to go with it. And we went, and I found it very physically difficult. It was like getting the paper to stick, it was one thing, but also, standing on your feet that long in the cement and stuff, and also, not craning your neck up or over and holding your arm for this very intricate looking, and in a way, having the work on the ground, I realized you get the best light. I'm always in the light, or shadow from trees or buildings will come into it, but it's not like being in architecture, and dealing with the walls is a really different thing. In any case, I'm bringing them all home, and we'll see what I do with them. Rules are made to be broken, so it was good to explore that and why I've made this determination about the ground. Basically, we were tracing in the 3 shipping buildings, shipping 1, shipping 2, and the skin mill. And there are numbers on the ground so that the crane that runs back and forth the width of each building can know where it's picking up a roll of steel to put it on a truck or train. And so I was interested in all these numbers and how the numbers had been erased and redrawn, and how hand-drawn they were. It also seemed to have some correlations with people. I was looking at the numbers because they were so hand-drawn that it related to people and people being erased somewhat too. I mean, it seemed evocative, these numbers. And they were on the ground. Well, I've always wanted to trace the tar that covers up the cracks. It looks like a drawing, basically. It looks like a giant drawing. And also reminds me of the nursery rhyme, you know, not nursery rhyme. When you're walking along and you don't step on the crack, you'll break your mother's back. When I used to walk home a lot from school. And it was a game we'd play. When I was thinking about the parking lot before I did it, I thought, okay, I think we could get 2 rolls down. I don't think it'll be as windy as you know, the Speedway, but and I could still do all the drawing. So we began the day by me trying to do all the drawing and like having 4 people rolling, and then it became too much work for me. And it was kind of like, you know, when you have your baby and you just you want to hold the baby all the time, but actually somebody else has to hold the baby sometimes. Everybody by the end was drawing, and we got another team up and had 3 rolls of paper, and then the wind took the paper and blew it all away, and that was the end of that day. But we were able to come back the next Monday and Tuesday, which was great because by then I knew I should just get everyone here and see what happened, like see how to use people, and that worked really well, to have multiple people drawing and multiple people rolling and people hopping between rolls so that they could speed up where one roll was behind because it was a more intricate area. Someone hop on that one. And it's sort of a very interesting process of learning about how to work with people and how to recognize what people are good at, and, you know, and sort of being comfortable directing them to make my drawing. So by the end, we were the last day, we traced the Gusto day, and then we traced a Monday and a Tuesday. And Monday, we sort of finished that Gusto one, and Tuesday, we did 3 drawings, and one straight, one crooked, and, you know, it was like hopscotch or something. It was fun. We will clean them up. They're very dirty. So we'll unpack them all, clean them up, and then I will make constellations. I mean, this is what the plan is. I'll make constellations of them on the floor of my studio, make color pencil drawings and paintings from them, all 1-to-1 scale. So there'll be smaller or larger paintings. I'm thinking some of them are going to be pretty small based on the intricacy of the wading pool and but on the other hand, some of the scale of the marks I want to come out in something like the wall painting, so for the wall painting, I'll probably, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to use the parking lot or middle steel to make a wall painting, or maybe both. And I have a lot of work to do. I don't know what I'm going to do when I go home and I'm just a regular old Ingrid Calame. I'm not famous Ingrid Calame. So I got a lot of questions about fame, which was very interesting. I don't remember thinking about fame so much when I was a little kid. And my kind of fame is so obscure that it was very interesting entering their minds through that porthole. But the drawings are incredible. I'm jealous. We had an amazing team from Buffalo who worked really well together, and that was lucking out, I think, and also perhaps unified by the museum. That it was a fairly disparate group, but they all kind of came together around the museum, and I had a good time.